I'm 26 now, but when I turned 18, my parents kicked me out with nothing. Nearly a decade later, they came crawling back. I should have seen it coming. Looking back, there were signs everywhere. My parents were the kind of people who thought struggle made you stronger, as long as it wasn't their struggle. They bragged about how they worked for everything they had, even though my grandparents helped them with a house down payment and free childcare. But when it was my turn, suddenly tough love was the rule. I came home from my shift at the grocery store on my 18th birthday, expecting the usual half-hearted happy birthday from my mom and a nod from my dad. Instead, I found my things packed in garbage bags on the porch. My parents stood in the doorway like bouncers at a club I wasn't allowed into. Dad's exact words, "You're an adult now. Time to be one." Mom didn't even meet my eyes. "It'll build character," she added, as if she was doing me a favor. They told me they had to make their own way at my age, a lie, and that I needed to learn responsibility, another lie, considering I'd been working and paying my own expenses for 2 years already. They gave me nothing. No money. No offer to stay until I found a place. Not even a meal. Just a bag of clothes, my phone, and a good luck. I stood there in shock, but they were done. The door shut. The locks clicked. That was it. I didn't have anywhere to go. My first thought was my aunt, but when I called, she sighed like I was inconveniencing her and said, "You know how your parents are. They just want you to learn." My uncle laughed and told me to figure it out. Every relative I reached out to either ignored me or fed me the same line about how my parents were teaching me responsibility. I ended up in my car. I had about $200 to my name and no plan. I parked in the back of a Walmart lot at night, cracked the window open, and tried to sleep. The first week, I kept thinking this was temporary, that any second, my mom would call and say they changed their minds, that they were just testing me. That call never came. The money ran out fast. Gas, cheap fast food, occasional showers at the gym, every dollar vanished. I learned which gas stations had the cleanest bathrooms. I learned how to make a single meal last an entire day. I learned that when people see a young girl sleeping in a car, they either pity you or pretend you don't exist. I applied everywhere. Grocery stores, fast food, retail, nothing stuck. I wasn't the only desperate person looking for work, and without an actual address, I was even lower on the list. The worst part wasn't hunger or exhaustion. It was knowing I had parents, family, a home, but none of it was mine anymore. A month later, I got lucky. A diner downtown needed a dishwasher. It was minimum wage, barely enough to survive, but it was something. The manager, an older woman named Karen, didn't ask too many questions. She let me take extra shifts, paid me under the table at first, and turned a blind eye when I used the employee bathroom to clean up. I worked until my hands bled. I showered at the gym. I saved every dollar. Slowly, I crawled out of the hole. I missed my high school graduation because I couldn't afford to take time off work. Not that my parents cared. They made it clear I wasn't their problem. I heard through a friend that my name was called, but my seat was empty. That stung more than I expected. But the worst moment came later. I'd saved up enough to rent a tiny room in a shared house, thanks to a coworker who introduced me to a friend renting cheap. I had a bed again, a door that locked, a place to breathe. It wasn't much, but after months of sleeping in my car, it felt like a mansion. One night, I got curious and called my parents, not because I wanted to make up, just to see if they regretted it. The call went straight to voicemail. When I tried again, I realized they had blocked me. I stared at my phone, not sure whether to laugh or throw it. They had thrown me out with nothing, let me struggle, ignored me for months, then blocked me, just in case I dared to reach out. Fine. I deleted their numbers. The years blurred together after that. I worked 2 jobs, barely slept, and saved every penny.